welcome to This Spiritual Life. This is going to be a year-long project where we try to figure out what this is all about. What is this spiritual life? The Buddha named his child Rahula. Rahula means the fetterer, right? The one that stands in the way, the one that gets in the way. Buddha named his child the one that gets in the way. As I'm thinking about building out this vlog, and even maybe more importantly, building out the website that I'm creating called This Spiritual Life, I keep coming back to this idea that it's about participation, right? And it's about community, and it's about showing up with all the people in your life. And one of the images that keeps coming to my mind as I think about that is the Buddhist ideal, and it changes in different kinds of Buddhism, but basically the idea that this world is full of suffering, right? And that this world is one of dukkha, which is like dissatisfaction, right? Like no matter what happens in this world, there's going to be dissatisfaction. What is the thing that brings you joy? What is the thing that brings you into a place where you're excited about life, right? Where's the part of your life that just boom, right? Can you hear the thunder in the background? Like, what is that thing that is driving you to do something big in your life? What is the thunder? What is the excitement? What are you running towards? I really, truly worried as I got a little bit older in my life, and as I started to be in relationship, like when I married my wife, there was a real fear inside of me that maybe I had ended my spiritual life, right? Like, that's the end. You're never going to get that back. You're going to have to do something else. And I played with those ideas for a long time, but when my daughter was born, now that really sort of upped the ante, and all of a sudden I was standing on this precipice of multiple things, but one of the things was really like, oh my God, this is the end of my life, right? Like, this is the end of the journey that I've been on. Now I'm gonna have to wake up every day, change diapers, and this thing's not really gonna lead into what I was doing before. Somehow this is taking me away from my spiritual life, right? And so that leads me to think about like Buddha. You know, Buddhism has been a huge, important part of my life, and the Buddha named his kid Rahula, right? He named his kid the fetterer, the one who gets in the way, right? Like, my child is the thing in the world that is going to mess up my spiritual life, right? If there's anything that's going to create attachment, it's that, right? It's this kid is going to create spiritual, it's like the end of my spirituality, right? As the cops cruise by, right? Like, this world is full of like random things, right? Like, the cops are just cruising by. The police are in full effect. This world is full of suffering. There's sirens going off all over the place, right? Donald Trump is the president. There's terrorist attacks all over the place. There's hate. There's crime. There's like, whoa, let's get the hell out of here, right? And a lot of spirituality is about that. A lot of spirituality is about another world, a better world. And for the time being, that's really not what I'm looking at, right? I didn't name my kid Rahula. You know, people tell the story in lots of different ways, but one of the ways people tell the story is that Buddha literally never touched his child, right? And if that true or not, no, I don't know. Probably not. But people tell the story that way, that like he left his child, he left his wife, right, before he ever touched it, because he knew if he had, he'd be done. That'd be it, right? End of story. No spiritual life. I named my daughter Ishel, right? I named my daughter after a Central American goddess of becoming, goddess of birth. What is the difference between a spirituality based on birth and life, and what is a spirituality based on death and a fear of and an anxiety of, right? A spirituality that tries to get away from this world, and a spirituality that really comes towards this world. And so when my daughter was born, I've been on this journey to figure out what the hell that's all about, right? Somewhere along the line, instead of really going down the path of Buddhist meditation, which I still practice, but I became initiated as an elder in a West African community, right? Like this white guy gets initiated into an indigenous West African community, living in a country full of racism, right? Full of suffering. Somehow I now have to face the suffering in the world. And it's a journey for me, and I think for all of us, is figuring out how to make this life, right? This life spiritual. And so what is it about a goddess of becoming? What is it about moving towards the feminine? What is it about moving towards different sorts of masculine? What is the call and what is the response? What are we going to do together, right? The world is full of all sorts of things going on right now. What are we going to do together? What's the part of you that when you're sitting with your child, you don't actually sit with your child? You don't feel the fact that you're alive. What's the part of you that's not comfortable? What's the part of you that wants to be seen so badly that you run away from it all the time, right? Like we literally are our worst enemies. And so what are the parts of yourself that you're running from? What are the parts of yourself that you can't quite touch, even though that's more than anything else in the world, that's what you need to see, what you need to be? There are so many little parts of ourselves that are just calling out for us. And this world is built around ignoring all of that, right? Our fears, our anxieties underneath that is like gold. And here we are trying to do everything in our power to run away from it, to just sort of ignore everything that's knocking on our door, right? And so what are you running from? And more importantly, right, in some really like crucial way, and this is completely connected to that, what are you running towards? What makes you excited? What gets you just full of life? What are the things that drive you to get out of bed, that motivate you to get out of bed? What's your passion? What's the fire, right? This is a year of fire, and in the Dogura tradition that I'm part of, and fire is about passion. Fire is that aspect of the world that drove you into this world, and what is it inside of you that is on fire? That is so ready to make something in this world. Now here's the deal. That's not easy to find, right? We spend our whole lives and a lot of us never even get there. And so one of the things that this vlog is about, and the website that I'm going to launch at the end of the year is about, it's about participation, and it's about a call, and it's about a response. And so what is the call that you're sending out? What is the response? The thing is that you can't figure this out by yourself, right? If someone's like, what's your purpose? Why are you here? Those questions are just like mind numbing because they're so big, and we just check out, right? But if you start paying attention to the little details, all the ways in which you're putting something out into the world, and the world is speaking back to you, right? Your mother, your brother, the lady in the grocery store, the damn tomato, right? Just like, boom. Just, right? Boom. It's calling out to you. You're calling out to it. It's calling out to you. And what is your response going to be? What are you going to do to really show up? How are you going to show up? How am I going to show up? And so that's it. Like, this is the experiment right here. This is me trying to show up. This is me trying to figure it out. This vlog I'm going to try to put out every Friday for the next year. 2017, here I come. I've never done this before. I've never used this medium before. I've never really recorded much of anything before. And so this is it. This is my experiment. This is me trying to participate with you. This is me asking you to participate with me, to ask me questions, to watch this show, to let me know what I need to talk about, to let me know who I need to talk to let me know when I mess up, to let me know whatever, right? Like, that was cool, man. And more than anything, like, that was cool. Too much we're like critiquing each other. This is about lifting each other up, right? Oh yeah, that was cool. Tell me that, right? That's the call. That's the response. Yeah, that was cool, man. And so let's look for that. Let's look for that for the rest of this year. Let's look for what is really cool in this spiritual life. Let's look for how to participate with one another. Let's look for all the ways in which everyone is actually participating in this life, right? This life. Not some other life, not some ideal life, not some sort of abstract individual, oh my God, I woke up and now I'm enlightened life, right? Good luck with that. Like, we'll talk about that. I have lots of thoughts on that. I have experiences around that, right? But what I'm really interested in is this life, this spiritual life, this communal life, this family life, all of you, and really starting to dig in and see what we can do together. So let's do it. 2017.